Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call, the podcast call-in show about Star Citizen. So we got some topics here today, but yeah, we can definitely broaden them as it's a bit of a weird week when ship sales are the only thing that's really going on. Sometimes there's other stuff. We do have some other interesting things though. IAE was there, so obviously the ship sales. I think we had the best Star Citizen Live all year, and then we had an interesting ship sale with the Arastra, I would say. I am left with lots of questions. That's basically where I'm at right now. I have no You want to jump right into it with that?
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest topic of the week, right? I mean, we're mining guys. We know a lot of mining guys. We learn it's good, fun gameplay, and it's a new mining ship. It was way more expensive than I thought it was going to be by about like $150.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be way less than that. So yeah, it's $575 non-war bond, I believe.
Yeah,
which is kind of nutty because the whole, just before IAE, they changed the price of the Orion from $575 to $650. It's like, oh, they're trying to make space. It's like, no, they're trying to make it not the exact same price.
Yep.
So pretty wild. In general, I'll start with some stuff that I like about it. Maybe we'll go from there. Sure. Love the look. Love the look. RSI have been popping off with all of their like visual designs for ships recently, I reckon.
I gotta ask though, before doesn't it look very military though? Which is part of why it's what makes the ship unique. It's got defense. There are no there are no defense. There's no defense on the mole outside of the obvious couple guns that come with it. Yep. Same with the Prospector. This is a defense platform while you mine. The only one.
Yeah. Three size 3 turrets with 4 guns each. So 12 like Panthers, essentially, right? On each. Plus a massive load of missiles as well. Including some size 5 torpedoes for some reason, which is very interesting. Because I don't know when an Arastra is going to have to defend itself against anything that large. But yeah, very defensive. I guess it's sort of... That plays in a bit more maybe to the design of the Polaris and the Perseus, because it's also a very similar size. It's a little bit bigger than one of them, I think. But maybe it's just the RSI design language. But I think it still looks fantastic, because it doesn't need to look... Like, I would have preferred it was Argo, but it doesn't need to look super utilitarian,
True. I actually wanted it to be Drake, and that wasn't one of the options that we could vote for.
Yeah, it was Misk, Argo, or RSI, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would have been cool, because I think Drake wins if it was Drake, because it would have been a different mining, like just something from a different company, where they already had the Orion at the time. It does look cool. It just doesn't look like a mining ship, and that's okay, though. But, yeah. Do you want to...
Yeah.
I'll add something I like if you want.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
The fact that the lasers move. I think that's one of the... I think that's one of the things where it's like, we've learned a little bit more about how people mine, and it's way better if we can have the laser operators be more mobile and move from top to bottom and side to side a little bit with the side ones. So I thought that was very good. This is like the result of them learning the game a little bit more. Go ahead for your next one.
Yeah, not just that, but like able to... So like they started using the tech with the Scorpius, right, of the turrets on rails. And then they... what did they chuck it on next? The C, like the C1 and stuff. They have it too. And it's sort of evolved into this like, all right, well, how do we get people to use this cool thing? Because right now in combat, it's not getting much use. This is a great place to put it.
Leave it in one place. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a great place to put it because you want that movement. So for those that don't know, the front ones are supposed to be able to like move like in and out. So, you're never too close to a rock or whatever. And then obviously the really cool thing of the top laser like going through the middle of the ship down to the bottom is super cool. So yeah, that's fantastic. One thing I love about it...
Go ahead.
No, go.
That is such a cool thing, but you know what really pissed me off about that? Was think about what's like one of the annoying things about the mole and the prospector? You have to like get out if you want to change like I want
mining
to
heads
be
and stuff.
I want to be changing mining
Yeah.
heads on the fly. Now we don't know if we can change these mining heads. These might be bespoke,
Yeah.
like their own
No idea.
thing. But you'll at least be able to. I imagine we're going to be able to put like little modules on them, right? So
Yeah, there'll be something there.
yeah. So when it went through, they have plenty of time to get to this point, but have it stop in the middle in the cargo bay, and I could swap things out with it. That would be sweet. I know obviously we can't do it on the outside ones, but the middle one would be kind of sick to just make it a little easier. The whole concept around this ship is that you're free from the elements.
Yeah.
You stay inside. Well, if I have to swap out things with my lasers, I can't stay inside.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing I absolutely love about it, which is a bit of a weird thing, is just more use of external cargo, and having it be positioned differently. So like we only really have it with the Hull series. We know that we'll get it with like the Raylan. Other than that, I don't think there's anywhere else, at least that I'm aware of, where we have actual external cargo. The mining vehicles themselves have like the pods, but it's a bit different. But I just like that. I think it's just a cool detail. Anytime you're looking at a ship or whatever, and you can actually physically see that they're carrying cargo. That's awesome. I guess the Sulan have it now.
I forgot to share my screen with you, so I'm doing that real quick.
Oh my god!
There we go. All right, we're
new
all
merch.
set.
I forgot to share my screen. But yeah, I think that's really cool. It is one of the things where it's like I do wonder what the whole deal with when you create your cargo in the Arastra is. I assume that's going to be something that'll be covered in the Q&A.
Yeah,
but I think it's awesome. I think it's a really cool way of doing it.
While I was doing that, did you mention that they're like no longer mining bags? Because I was a little distracted there for a moment.
Yeah, no, I didn't mention it, but that is a good point. Yeah, there's no mention on the entire thing about mining bags. So my assumption is that you mine possibly directly into the refineries, which makes it also a little bit more interesting.
Ah, okay. So when I was talking about it this morning, somebody had mentioned something like that, but I didn't quite understand. I think that's what they meant. Okay, so you mine directly
that would
into
make
the refineries,
sense.
it turns it into unrefined.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like there's anywhere for it to go otherwise, I think, right? So
yeah. Also, is there any point to unrefined ore? I don't know yet.
Not yet, maybe in future, but I feel like 90% of the time you're still gonna want to refine it. It's still gonna be more profitable most of the time, right?
Profit or crafting. Refinable ore would be for crafting, most likely. Maybe unrefined, I don't know. So yeah, but maybe that's the advantage that something like a prospector or a mole will have. Like the thing that the main question that I have to ask about this specific vehicle is what is bad about it? If we go ahead and read this paragraph, it's literally this thing is better than an entire mining fleet and a refinery station. How? What? Like,
so, yeah.
Come on.
If we go by just the stats, which is usually what I do anytime we're going through this, because there's a lot of would you call it propaganda, I guess, in all of these advertisements every time they come out.
You don't know what's a meme and what's
like in-game advertisement.
Exactly. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. So if we go by just the stats, it's just a better mole. And I'm really struggling to find how it's not just a better mole and will have any downsides other than being big.
I'll tell you.
You know?
I'll tell you. This is my question on the Q&A thread.
Okay.
3 times remote size 3 lasers.
Yes.
You're not breaking any. When you get down to the crumble, you get down to the crumble to bring in right before you bring in. How are you going to be able to break that?
Yeah, exactly.
So when they say, this does what an entire mining fleet does, I look at it and go, no shot. No shot, you don't need. And then the next question I asked is, can I fit a prospector in the back?
Well, that feels like it'd be tight.
I don't think it will. But at the same time, I'm thinking, how does this become this thing all by itself? Because if all those lasers are size 3, and especially if we can't swap them out, how am I going to break a small rock? These are only for huge rocks. But then are you going to change the way we bring in vehicles, yeah, this opens the door for a smaller RSI miner that can fit
Mhm.
in the back of it. I don't know. But that is my question in the Q&A thread. I only posted one.
Yep.
That's what it was about. Tell me what the negatives of a size 3 laser are. And I didn't just
Yep.
say, is it going to be too powerful? Tell me what the negatives are. I want to know what the negatives are on the ship because everything you told me is how great it is. And everything has a balance, right? Everything in mining.
Well, we want everything to have a balance, yes.
Well, no, everything in mining so far, it was like bigger lasers have their issues, smaller lasers have their issues, but they're both good at something.
Yeah.
So what are the
Yeah, no,
size
fair.
threes? You know, that's what I want to know. I'm sure it's going to be power. And maybe these specific lasers will not be customizable. Maybe they'll have their own very unique characteristics, but you may not be customizing them at all. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, even in a bunch of the artwork, or like on the lasers themselves, in a bunch of the artwork, it's got like 2 lasers sort of coming out of them, like 2 things. I don't know what you would call them. 2 prongs.
Like up here.
There's a couple. Maybe not there. It's definitely on some of the artwork, and definitely in the video you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Yeah. So they've all got 2 prongs, which is really interesting because obviously all of the lasers we have right now are just essentially like a single like strut with your mining laser on it. So it could also be that like size 3s just work completely differently as well, right? Like weapons sort of also have that idea where like the larger size weapons work very differently to the small ones, not just in, you know, a couple of like how much they can shoot and stuff. So it could be completely different. So yeah, that's one thing that definitely really important for us to hear from the AMA, not the AMA, the Q&A.
Yep.
Because yeah, otherwise it just feels like it might just be really powerful. And I don't want any ships. Well, I don't want a Prospector, a Mole, and an Arastra to like completely make the other one irrelevant, especially when they're this large. The next thing I want to say though, so I wasn't there when the Orion first went up for sale, when it first came out. Does this not sound like what the Orion used to be in a lot of ways, except for like the rock grinder?
Yeah.
Because the Orion has grown a lot since then, and it's got all these, like, it's likely going to have way more cargo and way more refinery and stuff. But
it's possible it was even the cargo size. I don't remember what the original Hull C was sold at for cargo space.
I think it was like 1,000 for the original Hull C. Yeah, but the Orion was like 300 and something.
No, because I bought a Hull D and an Orion to be, or a Hull C and an Orion to be together because their SUs were almost exactly the same.
Okay.
So I remember making a choice. I don't remember the ship, the cargo ship though. I don't remember which one I got. I don't know which one I have now. I don't know. But I remember the 2 were so close to each other that it was like, I'm going to refine on this and I'm going to cargo haul with that. Not thinking that we'll most likely just be able to cargo haul with either or whatever, you know, the game has changed so much. But that's, I think you're really on it there, is like, hey, the Orion got so big that let's make the current Orion.
Yeah, let's turn this into what the Orion was going to be, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the Orion, because the Orion now feels like a proper capital ship with like how long it's gotten. We haven't gotten a lot of information about it, but we know its length and it's huge. It's massive now. Yeah. So, it sort of makes a lot more sense.
I don't even know if the rock grinder is going to be a thing.
I hope it still is, but if it doesn't, whatever. For me, it's more just about the idea of being able to have this massive, I am going to take this asteroid belt for myself kind of ship. I love that.
Yeah. It just, for me, it's the ease on bigger and bigger and bigger rocks. I mean, I know that it's marketing material, but if I can find the asteroid that they are breaking, you can kind of see it here. It's like a pyro, you know, like it's one of the ones that have never had been mineable before. So probably just marketing, but you know, it's kind of showing its intentions in the future is, you know, 200K mass rocks, 300K mass rocks, so on and so forth. So I don't know. The way they keep selling it is it's a thing of its own. It's only 5 crew. I just see it being a part of the big break and everything else scooping, you know? And then scooping, but the little breaks are probably going to be done by somebody else.
Yeah, probably. I also think this ship, it sort of, I think, fills for a lot of people what they may have thought the Odyssey was going to do. Like, this is your live-in miner with like Carrick-sized live-in miner. The Odyssey is doing other shit.
You mean what people thought in their heads? What they
thought in their heads the Odyssey was going to be.
Yeah. They were like, "What the hell? This is, it's going to mine and it's an explorer. This is crazy. Power creep, blah 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 blah." And everybody was going crazy about it. So then they made that shit. That shit. Now I imagine I guess we landed on a good spot here on what I'm showing is the refinery, right?
Yes.
I was not surprised at all. Unfortunately, the name of the ship was leaked to me, and immediately I knew what a Narastra was, so I knew this thing was coming with a refinery. The issue for me here is, again, this marketing material is that it puts dedicated facilities to shame. So it's like the Carrick killer. Like, this is literally you chose the right ship. This is Odyssey marketing. Right. So it's kind of hard to be like, all right, well, I kind of like going to the refinery decks. I just wish we had a dedicated elevator to get there. I also like the idea of the galaxy. What are you doing to my video game? What's happening here? So if I was to ask another question, I want a lot more information about the differences between the galaxy, a ship-based, station-based refinery, and this. And do we need to have differences all the time? Not necessarily. Maybe the Galaxy has 6 separate refinery things. I think that was one of the special things about it.
The Expanse does. The Expanse has 6.
Excuse me. The Expanse, right? So that's what will likely be unique to that. Maybe this, I see the number 3 on the screen, so maybe this has 3. Right?
I think in the stats it mentions 2, but I'm not 100% sure.
Let me peek.
I'd have to look again.
Just as onboard refinery.
Yeah, maybe not.
So I don't know. But in the end, that's the other question is not why do I choose this over something else? It's what does this do well? And why would I choose this in a given situation? And why would I choose that in another, right? So that's what I want to know. And that's... I know Star Citizen is filled with power creep and marketing and FOMO and all these things, but what they do tend to do well still is create choice, and there's somewhat reason for those choices. Like, I definitely still like to take out my Prospector, but there's definitely a reason for using the Mole, and it's definitely out of balance at the moment towards the Mole. But in the future, hopefully it won't be. And then, we'll see what happens with this. So you're still feeling it's the Mole killer, and I think for now, until we know more, you're right.
Q&A. Until Q&A, that's how it feels at the moment. Which I don't like, but I still bought the ship. I'm still, I still have it. I melted my Galaxy and stuff. It's a mining ship. We have to. Yeah. It's actually in our contracts. Touching on the refineries. Yeah, what'd you melt?
I had to melt a Hawk, a tank, and something else, because I have nothing left as far as everything's in buyback, and I just have things that aren't coming out. I could melt but I just can't bring myself to it. The Starliner or whatever it is.
Oh, the Genesis Starliner, the 747 thingy.
I can't bring myself to melt it. I know it's just going to be a picture for 47 years, but I can't do it. So I did melt, and I used my 10% subscriber store credit on it.
Nice.
So I got it for $5.25.
Nice. But, I upgraded from my Galaxy and melted just some stuff that I wasn't really using, and I'm totally okay with that. One thing that I've heard a lot of people doing, though, is they've been melting their Orion for it. And if you do own an Orion, don't melt it for the Arastra yet.
Because you're gonna get it as a
Yeah,
loner.
you are 100%. Like, the Arastra will come out before the Orion, no doubt. So you'll have access to it for a while. And then the Orion is going to go up in price again because, I mean, there's $75 difference between these two ships right now, where one of them is essentially like 4 times the volume. So, yeah, don't yet. I understand if you're like, hey, that ship is better for my playstyle. I agree. But save yourself some money, please.
Yeah, the Orion's going to be 900 plus. It's going to be
For
890 jump price.
Yeah.
They seem to really value cargo and industry and stuff like that in terms of pricing. So yeah, you could definitely bet on that. I don't know, anything else on this ship that you want to talk? I love the concierge skin, the black. But
yeah. I did want to mention, I wanted to just on the salvaging stuff. The reason that all this salvage stuff, refining,
Yes.
On these refineries, the ship refineries, is I think they still don't know what they want to do with it. Like how they want ship refining to work. Yeah, that's why we don't know this information.
Full-scale onboard refinery processes raw ore into sellable material on the spot. Like, just very basic descriptions of it. So, but that's also a bummer. Because Galaxy, right, is the refiner? It's such a bad name.
Expanse.
Fuck.
Honestly, this one should have been called the Expanse.
Yeah, probably.
And the Expanse should have been called the Arastra.
Yeah. And that's the part that I'm bummed out, because it makes it feel like we won't see it. And we're hoping we were going to see it by the end of this year, and we won't see it for a while, maybe. Which is a bit of a bummer.
I don't think so. Hopefully, I think it was maybe Thorsten was talking about ship refining when the Expanse came out. I do hope that it is a task that they can go back and look at soon. But I feel like because they're about to start working on concepting of base building, it might still be on the back burner for a while, which sucks.
Yeah. Well, we have a caller that wants to talk about the Arastra. You want to bring him in?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to bring in...
Test-tastic.
No, it's Hellhawk.
Oh, Hellhawk. Let's
so
Hellhawk.
Ignore next in line, because they have little comments above them that say what they want to talk about.
Okay.
So, Hellhawk, if you can hear us... you're still muted. Hopefully we're good here. I might have caught him off guard.
There you are. Hello. How you doing?
What's up?
Not too bad. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta mute the stream. There we go.
All good.
What's going on, guys?
Not much.
I have been a little out of it this week since I was out for the holiday, but I had a couple quick things on the Arastra I wanted to run by, get your opinion on it.
Yep.
First of all, quick likes. I like the look. I like the turret setup. Larger lasers can't hurt, hopefully. We'll see what happens. But I am kind of annoyed with the idea behind the turret moving from the top to the bottom.
Why?
Ooh, okay.
Well, because I think they went more rule of cool than functionality. Like, your idea where it deploys into a center bay and you can refit it, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I think I'd like for them to really focus more on functionality than just cool stuff. Because when we get to a ship like the Orion, I want them to have an idea of what they can do for that to make it more functional and not just giant space mining boat.
Well, I guess it would give you functionality at the very least in atmosphere, just to give you more line of sight of rocks. That wouldn't be the case in space because the ship could just turn around. But at the very least, there's that. I don't know if that's enough to make it worth it, though.
Also, Hellhawk, if you can just be a little closer to your mic. I've never had to turn you up, but I had to turn you up today for some reason. So maybe that's it.
All right, how about now?
Oh, great.
Yep.
Okay.
Now
but yeah, I mean,
we'll sorry. You're fine.
We'll see how it plays out. Again, it's they could change how everything works by the time they release the ship. Who knows? Yep. But I think another thing that would be really nice, based on Mike's thought, was actually having the front lasers retract into the front pylons so that you could refit it without having to EVA.
Sure. Yeah, so you've got the like refinery section in the front, so you're saying they like come in to that section and then you can mess around from the inside. That'd be pretty cool.
And having some sort of storage in the pylon so that you actually have your different modules like put away. I don't know, something to keep things in line, because I do like the changes they made to the different mining modules, but it's like we need a way to organize that now.
I got a thought. We got a vulture. You right click, and it swaps. I know we have the scoop right click option. Maybe.
I mean, maybe like they're the size 3 lasers. I said there's 2 lasers.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fit out two lasers. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
But then how do you swap between scooping and you lose that key? I don't know. Maybe it's a different keybind?
Just add another keybind. There's already like 300. What could go wrong?
Fuck it, add another. Yeah, exactly. True. Why not?
The other thing that one of my major annoyances with this, and it has been since they announced it, is the ground vehicles. I don't see if it has some sort of synergy with the ground vehicles where there's specialized storage on board. You can refine them, gem cutting or something to take that and turn it into the next level resource. I think I'd be fine with it, but I'm pretty sure they didn't think that far ahead.
I'm with you, but in a different way. It is massive. It's long, and it doesn't seem incredibly tall the way it lands. So we didn't think that this is, a big piece of the ship is that it lands and then you have vehicles come out. So it's going to be really awkward landing, and that's like one of the biggest parts of the ship. So that's what I don't like about the that aspect of it. But your point is also what I was saying too, is you're selling this part of the ship, and to be honest, they went way more in the marketing on the other side of it, like you're gonna break big rocks, you could do everything, and way less into the ROC side, where that's one of the pieces of mining that is so ignored at this point. You got 3 gems, they're all look the same, different colors, no major differences between them, little bit of value differences. We don't know what we use them for. Well, we do, because there's lore on them, but it's just like jewelry for the most part. So that I'm with you. Like, do these refineries cut gems better than other things? Some shit like that, right? Like how?
I disagree with both of you. So I think it's a really good idea for a couple of reasons. First off, it's a nice multi-purpose area because you can just use it as internal cargo.
True.
Right? Sweet. Here's some extra cargo. Awesome. No worries. Maybe I'm not chucking ROCs in there. Maybe I'm chucking a dragonfly, or like you can probably fit like a Merlin in there or something if you want that ability. But the biggest thing is, like if you are around most likely a moon, not a planet, because it's going to be heavy. But if you're like around like a moon and you've been doing some mining, you suddenly come up against a drive-in cave full of janelite. Sick. I'm not equipped for this. Well, now you are. So like, it'd be great if the refineries can also use that. But I don't think it's a waste of space or anything like that. I like it as a feature.
Okay. Well, I hadn't really thought about that before. My thing was like, they built this thing out to be it seems like a not solo player ship, but solo ship where it's going out on its own and doing its thing.
Yeah.
And I just
like not scouts or anything like that, not escorts or anything. Yeah.
Right. And to me, I'm jaded. I played Eve for too long. I am not going to risk my
to Eve this week. Sorry.
I am so sorry. No, if I have this ship with 512 SCU or cargo and a refinery, I'm not risking that over a freaking gem mining op. That's my only hang up, is that eventually you will be risking this to do the other thing. I just don't see the value.
I think you don't see the value yet because of current gameplay, though.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But
that's my argument.
I just hope they
flesh it out.
I hope they take that into account.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess they have to look at the ship and then go, okay, we need to make gem harvesting a little bit more interesting or something, or more variety, more something.
It doesn't even have to be a monetary value. It could just be like, you have to have this to make this. Okay, well, I have no choice. Now this has to happen.
Yeah.
But until that happens, it's like,
Hey,
no,
that sounds like a video game. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I know we got a few years.
Right.
No.
All right, so what if this, and CIG can feel free to pay me my royalties and take this idea. You're able to use ground mineable crystals to power up your mining lasers. You can insert them into your mining lasers.
Old news. Nice try. I've had that idea
Damn it.
forever. Yeah, like for me, it was can I re-add the charges to the original before we ever had passive modules? I was like, can I add more charges to my active modules using gems?
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that was kind of like I just place them in there and then you add more. Was my thought process, but so similar.
See,
idea.
I hope they take that a step further. And again, this is obvious. They haven't even talked about this, but I hope that there's eventually an item that's linked to your like lasers. So like in Eve, where you have like a laser crystal, and then you could be like, well, I'm so far out here. I'm a solo ship. My laser needs to be, revamped. Here's a new crystal. That, as long as they give it some reason to be on the ship, I'm fine. I need them to think through that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that might be something that they don't think of till down the line, and now they have to readjust the ship, and it takes more time. We'll see what happens.
Welcome to Star System. I mean, this is why I did not want to hear about this ship now. I don't think we're ready.
No.
But they leaned
at least they didn't push the Orion.
No. And they didn't raise the price on it, so that's good too. But they lean way more into the refinery and the lasers, something we already have, than the things that, I would argue, yes, we have gem mining, but gem mining is the tier 0 in that area. It is not like, hey, these materials are only over here. They all have these unique characteristics, and we're not there. So we'll have to see.
Right.
Well, did they raise the Orion price? They did, but not.
Yeah, from 575 to 650.
But not to where we expect it to be.
No, yeah, it's not. It's not
what I mean.
priced the way that the other ships of like similar size and stuff are.
Yeah, they raised it, but they're not killing you. You're still getting a deal probably before it is officially released, which is ridiculous to say. But so.
The couple other quick things. I don't want to take up all your time, but I actually don't. So, have we confirmed if this can actually take on bags from another ship?
We don't know.
We haven't confirmed it yet. Yeah,
I'll look at
presumably in Q&A.
I'll try to look for pictures. That's a good question for the Q&A if it hasn't been asked yet. I'll look for pictures of the refinery.
Yeah, all the pictures of the refinery are either just like the internal section there, or just like the window, and which is why I'm very much of the opinion, especially because they don't mention bags at all on the entire ship, that it's just going to be straight from laser to refinery, and so you may not even get the chance to not refine stuff. Maybe,
right?
Hopefully they answer that in Q&A.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see, because that kind of changes the conversation too, is whether or not it can be used as a stand-in for one of the other ships, or if this is just its own thing.
Yeah. And if it can't, then the other ships, like Croncy said, you cannot kill the mole, and you cannot... The mole, people got so mad when it killed the prospector, you cannot kill the mole with this. It's the same concept.
Right.
So.
Right. And I mean, you also... And we'll see. Again, I don't want to speculate and then come up with something better than they will. So we'll just let them do their thing on that. But my question would be, one of my questions is, how big is the hopper going to be on this thing? Like, can you continuously mine?
Because right now it's essentially based on just how big the bags are, right?
Right. So what does that look like? So I don't...
Such power creep. Holy shit.
Right.
What is it? 512 SU. That's how long you can keep mining, yeah.
and that's the problem with them doing this over using bags, is we had an idea of what the process would look like with bags. Well, now its storage capacity isn't necessarily the linchpin. It's how long can I continue mining without having to take a pause? And when I'm not mining, what other gameplay is there for me to do, depending on how big that pause is?
Yeah.
So that would be something I'd want to know. And then
I wouldn't be surprised because they are talking about it as a 5-person ship, and there's only 3 lasers, all of which are what do you call them? Remote turret. I feel like they intend to have someone in the refining deck when you're mining. It's giving that vibe. I think.
Here, I'll even read it. I'll bring it back up. I got rid of it, but where are we? Here. No need to ship off raw ore for processing. The Arastra's onboard refinery puts many dedicated facilities to shame. Hilarious. Capable of processing massive quantities of raw ore quickly and efficiently with minimal intervention from crew. So you have to.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
You have to, but minimal intervention has me concerned. Is just
the minimal intervention is also probably just cell speech. Of you don't have to intervene that much, but it's probably just going to be you need to do whatever the refining gameplay loop is.
Yeah,
gotcha. But the last thing, the external cargo, I don't feel like it fits the ship.
It's like
you've
the
got
Orion.
this big
same style is how I look at it.
I don't know. You see this big bulky basically military ship with mining lasers, and then you've got all the stuff that's really expensive is hanging out on the outside. To me, it would have made more sense to have the unrefined stuff outside and the refined stuff inside. Maybe it's just a process thing on my side, but
I don't necessarily agree with that, just because it's the whole thing of when you go into industry, it's like risk versus reward, and when you get the access to external cargo, you just get access to more cargo straight off the bat.
With risk.
So, with risk, of course.
Yeah.
And so I think because it is exactly that, it's an industrial ship that does that, then it should have external cargo makes a lot of sense. However, I do think you've come up with a good idea, though, of a variant of the Arastra that has maybe 30 to 40% less cargo that is all internal, and it has that extra shielding.
Yeah. Especially because this is going to be used in more high-risk situations based on the way that they're positioning
Probably,
it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see what that happens. My biggest concern, of course, is with the master mode changes, and who knows? They're so far away from finishing that. We'll see what happens at the end.
Yeah,
but
and we'll I want to touch on this image that I have on the screen now. It just has a lot more okay, this is interesting. I don't know if this character is here for
for scale, or is he actually there?
It's difficult to say because you have these bars whatever, protection, and they're definitely over here, and this looks like some, I look out over area. So I think we're going to be, dealing with the mining laser outside like this. But the other thing to point out, and I didn't notice until somebody in Twitch chat mentioned it, so thank you for that. The VTOLs are open.
Yep.
So there's going to be that. There's another little guy down there that might be addressing this laser. So you might have to go outside, but you will not have to EVA, because that's always good, because we know how kind of annoying EVA is, I guess.
And you can still operate the lasers from inside, because they're very specifically said that they're remote operated.
Exactly. So somebody could be operating the laser, somebody else could be swapping and immediately going back to it as well, which is good. But yeah.
Or even dealing with engineering issues that come up with it, right? There's a lot of say that engineering gameplay could affect this stuff.
Yeah, these can catch on fire, maybe, who knows? But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I don't know, Hellhawk, if you have anything else. You said you just wanted to touch on that specifically. So if that's all you got, we can.
That's pretty much it.
On. All right, sounds good. Well, thank you, Hellhawk.
Thank you very much,
guys. Have a good one.
Bye now.
Yeah, you too.
All right. I mean, is there anything else before we move on from this that you really want to touch on? As far as the Arastra goes, we hit it pretty hard. It really comes down to the Q&A.
Yeah, and the price just feels rough. It feels really rough.
Where did you want it? Like $475?
Yeah. I wanted it about 100. I expected it to be about $100 cheaper. And I think a lot of that I was basing around the Galaxy base price being like 300 and something without modules. And I was kind of like, all right, well, you chuck a module or two on there, sort of gets to that price. So very expensive, But I think a lot of miners are probably going to be doing CCUs or like well, yeah, CCU, just melting stuff and probably not spending new money on it for the most part.
Yeah,
I know people will, but I think a lot of the mining community is probably just going to grab it for replacements for stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the big price is the cargo. That's what I'm guessing. By the way,
Yeah, that is a lot. There's a ton of cargo.
Yeah.
Do you think, just as an aside, do you think it'll be able to? I guess probably can because it'll just be a cargo grid, like buy and sell cargo as well. Because if it can, like that's also a big point to it. Like once again, there's a lot of cargo. It has an extra use.
My guess is that you don't buy and sell into the external bays. You just buy and sell to the inside. And that's it. And that's 64 SU. And are you really going to move 64 SU in this thing?
Maybe of Genelite. 64 SU of Genelite. That's going to be good money, right?
Yeah, but you can't buy that. I mean, you could maybe from somebody else, but yeah. So I don't know. Oh, I did not kill out.
Just as a quick thing, you mentioned with skins, I think it was either last week or the week before, that you love a nice like black skin or whatever, and that was the concierge paint.
Yep.
So there you go. They did. Yep. They heard you then.
I hate minus 14.
Yeah.
minus 14. Yep.
I hate those skins. I want fancier industrial skins that just look like industry ships. That's why I like the Augur skins. Dirty. Right? Exactly. I love it.
Okay, fair enough. I see what you mean. Like nice paint, but then it gets dirty. So yeah. I don't know. That's really all I have. I want to know more from the Q&A, and I wish the Q&A came out at the same time because we got the ISC. You could have told us, could have made the thread and then post the Q&A, but that's a lot of work while they're doing all sorts of other stuff with IAE.
Yep. The assumption is that that'll come out next week, right? For the most part?
Yeah, they usually wait a few days minimum. So sometime during the week, maybe my guess will be like Wednesday. Oh, do we have a roadmap roundup coming up this week? Yes, probably.
Maybe. Depends, yeah.
Yeah, so let's assume like Tuesday or something like that, or whatever day that they, are like, hey, we're not doing an ISC or an SCL this week. They might put that in there. But I'm assuming we're going to have one. So anyway, that's the Arastra. We did have some other... Anything else excite you from IAE?
Nothing else really came out this week. Like we did ATC last week when the Storm AA came out. Yeah. And I will just say, got a chance to drive it around, and 80 missiles is incredibly fun. big fan. Okay, it's a bit awkward to move around, but there's some things you can do with it. A little bit disappointed by the Storm's tracks. Well, not the tracks necessarily, but like how it looks like each section should be able to move independently, and it doesn't. It's just solid the whole time. But yeah, there was nothing really else this week other than the Arastra. Yeah,
for me, I felt like I just found myself scrolling through ship skins of like, because like, I mean, I'll bring it up on the screen. We had Misk yesterday or the day before, I guess, since we're switching over to Best in Show today. What else? We had Misk and Mirai, Anvil. These are all like nothing new came, right? Except for maybe like a skin here and there. And then here is where, the SRV came in. They did the ISC with it. I think we could definitely touch on some stuff with that. The ISC was very interesting. Did you catch that? I know you don't watch SCL.
No, ISCs I watch for sure, yeah.
Okay. So I will scroll to the SRV then, because there was only one real takeaway, I think, from this ISC. Did you catch the part where they were like, yo, did you know you could tow soft as ships and sell them? And I was like, when he said that, I was like, there is no chance Reddit would have been all over this. That is an incredibly interesting piece of gameplay. And then immediately, like, I would say one of my viewers, but he also makes YouTube videos and streams now. But for a while, he was like my like right hand man, played with me every day, was PC 101. He made a YouTube video. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. It looks like it has the ability to work. but it doesn't, and I haven't seen anyone be able to do it.
Well, here's the thing: repairing doesn't always work. Also,
the other stuff does.
Well, like repairing doesn't always work. Period.
Oh yeah.
So like, are you running into just like stupid repair bug, and it's actually supposed to work, and this dev is like on it, but then, you know, we could talk about SCL a little bit. Is on SCL, Torsten comes in and is like, yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about my ship skin obsession again? This really pissed me off. This skin.
Really? You didn't like it?
I'm obsessed with it.
But
I can't put it on the mole.
True.
What the hell, man?
Oh man, bro, what a fail from CIG.
It just comes like, what is their deal? Do you like? I know they don't hate. They clearly don't hate money.
Yep.
So what's the deal? Why is this not available on my mole and my Argo cargo?
Raft.
Raft.
Oh yeah, and really any ship. Yeah.
What are you doing?
That would be nice.
Yeah. This pissed me off a lot. Because look at that. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's one of the best skins they've released recently. It's like that one and the yellow spirit skin that came out in this IAE have been some of my favorites.
It brought the conversation back up about like ship skins and all that stuff. I don't want to get into that today. We'll save that for when we have no content.
When there's no content.
Exactly. Yep. Perfect. We got the content brain, Croncy. We're together. That's why. I knew you were the right guy to bring on, right? As a co-host, because I knew we thought the same. But I typically leave my Argo ships orange, but
sure, yeah.
That blue.
There's one of the like ore paints that I use. I don't remember which one it is though.
I've used the Dolovine because it's like white.
Yeah, I think this one.
I like that one. Yeah. But the other ones are really good as well. But yeah, that was the only thing. There's
one other really cool thing about IAE, Mike.
Give me it.
That you got to see in stream yesterday. Oh no, I genuinely got so excited and got a little emotional. So everyone knows that I'm a shill. That happened a couple months ago. I'm a big old Star Citizen shill. And of course, like it makes sense that it happened, but it just never really crossed my mind that they play the ads for the ships in the convention center, which means technically I'm in the game now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Dude, I want to see them do that a lot more. I know I'll probably get some hate for this, but like some streamers, some YouTubers, some prominent community members like Hashkaga or something, like he doesn't stream, but he's everybody knows who he is, should have their own little Easter eggs and things. I think we're not. I was about to say we're a big part of the project, but I don't think we are. I think we're a small little niche part of the project, but an important one and a fun one. And being around and sticking around. I have an Easter egg in the game. I might be the only one for now, but there needs to be more.
Yeah. Oh, right, from Siege of Arson?
Siege, yeah.
So I've never seen that. What was it? What was the Easter egg?
I don't want to give it away.
Oh, we'll have to find out. Play it Siege of Arson.
It's an Easter egg. It is minuscule, and this is how it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It should be so tiny, but one of those things where it's like, I'm there forever. I'm not. I don't necessarily think it should be like Tarkov. You know what Tarkov does, where they
where they've all got their own items and stuff. Yeah,
because now
that's a bit much.
Now look at it. It was cool when it was like 10 of them. Now there's like a billion. It just got stupid, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a the tiniest thing. Honestly, you're gonna have to have somebody tell you, but I'm not gonna be the one.
So someone has told me, but I've never. I literally like when someone was like, "Oh my god, Mike just found his Easter egg." And then I couldn't find it for like the entire Siege of Arson like series.
I cried. So
of course, yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, I know the feeling of like you're hearing yourself in game. Like thing that I've spent so much time with, I'm in it. It's not many people get that opportunity, and it's a very cool feeling. And that's why I want more people to have that feeling, because it is such a fun and nice feeling. That's them showing the soft death ship being repaired. And you could see the whole time it's the Jared capture team or whatever. I forgot. I'm calling it Jared capture team because I don't know the name of it. ISE gameplay capture team. I think that's the name.
Yeah, gameplay capture team. Yeah.
capture some. I don't want to curse as much. Capture some gameplay. Then we're never capturing gameplay. We're capturing magical stuff that doesn't exist. But
anyway, we were talking about SCL a while ago.
Well, no, but that's well, we're talking about the raft, and that's what I want to, or not the raft, the SRV,
the SRV, yeah.
Yes, and when he mentioned that, it's like, now, for me, you can hate on the fact that it doesn't exist and the dev got it wrong, or you can take they thought about this, they want to do this is where we're going, and I love it.
Yeah, there's also like a little bit to take there where like, well, clearly he thought that it was in game, so it's been developed in some aspect.
It's in progress at the minimum.
Yeah.
Right? It could be functional in game dev somewhere. So that's like, for me, that's where we're getting to start. Like, I don't think people understand how big of a deal this actually is to, you're getting to Death of a Spaceman. That is a big, massive step to Death of a Spaceman. Do you understand, like, physicalized components and all these things, how much weight they put on them for so many years? This isn't me coping. This is this is one of the major pieces of the puzzle that is coming online. Is your ship isn't just going to explode. You're going to survive encounters with other people, and you're going to be able, soft death,
or even find soft death ships and fix them up yourself or whatever.
Yes, now you have situations of the SRV actually meaning something. Because what did we talk about when we mentioned it last? You got to give me something to do with it. Just towing stuff around is cool. It's a great sandbox tool. But now, what do I do? And I mean, so do you know about there's another thing. There's a little bit of an exploit in the game currently. The
so they remove
salvage.
a really easy way to make money, and then we get another easy way to make money. It's not as good, but it's still pretty crazy.
Yeah,
still pretty nuts. It's like 1 million UEC an hour essentially.
Yeah, so which is nothing, but in comparison to what we used to have, obviously, 50 million an hour or whatever. But it's still like, okay, we wanted to make use of the SRV. I thought that was great. All of it's great. So it's just a matter of cleaning up the little issues around it, whether or not the soft death repair exists or not, and making actual towing missions is where I want to see this stuff be. So yeah, we're kind of on IAE, but it was the SRV is still I think a really, really cool ship. It sounds like a towboat now when you use it.
Yeah, I noticed. I was watching just before we started. Yeah,
I didn't know, because I haven't used it since the PTU, to be honest. And because I don't have one, because it's you got to be a $20 subscriber to get it in game right now, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it was buy it or whatever. So
I got the streamer privilege for use of it, so it's fine. I'll use it for then, and then maybe by then it'll be available in game.
I didn't. Oh, you know what they did?
Show more, Mac.
They asked me if things were working, and I said yes, because I got some streamer privilege ships, but I didn't get the SRV. So I should message them and be like, hey, I didn't have that. So yeah,
I've definitely got access to it, and like I don't have a giveaway for it or anything. So
yeah, they give you.
And I'm not a subscriber either. So yeah.
Okay, I'll message them again another week of like, hey, this didn't work out, so no biggie. Because I think we mentioned it last week as well. The other thing is that exploit still does exist, by the way, but I think it's a better way of the HRTs drop like weave legs and things like that. But it's still bad, but better.
Yes, it's getting there.
Yeah,
it's essentially the first task the economy team has done is trying to make these sort of missions be more appropriate.
Sure.
For gameplay. So, I'll give it a bit of time.
Cool. Do you want to bring in since we're like kind of leaving IAE, we can bring in Testatastic and see what they want to talk about then. Testa, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Great. Fantastic.
Awesome. So we can talk about IAE. I'd say It's been like okay. Performance though for servers and like their database, like night and day compared to Fleet Week earlier this year. When
Yes.
the database changes, it's been. I know some people are still seeing issues, but I've seen almost nothing. Like database inventory moves fast. But the main topic I kind of want to hit upon is Mike. You were talking earlier, and I think you a little bit too, Croncy. It almost sounds like apprehension of like, why did I buy this larger ship?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we're not.
I bought it just because of them. I don't know why I have it yet.
Yeah.
I might melt
it says the word minor. That's why.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we don't know what it's
There is a realistic chance this thing gets melted in days. Because yeah. You got to. They still got to sell me on it.
Yeah, definitely. It's just because this is kind of approaching Orion and Capital class ship, and at least personally for me, especially after this Citizen Con, I started to melt my larger ships and just have stuff around Cutlass size and smaller. I want to get the larger ships. I want to unlock them, and I know probably not really a good example for you two because you guys are content creators and you want to show them from the beginning and start like, okay, here's the big ship that I want to start with. But
yeah, but I want to play like you.
Like you're
yeah,
exactly.
I want to start with
you'll have
Aurora.
your alt accounts. Oh yeah,
I want my alt account to be my main account. I want my main account like
that's the fun account.
Yeah, my main account is. I want my org to start with nothing, and my org to be like we still don't know what any of that stuff is going to be. Everybody's looking at their fleets and Fleet Viewer and all this other dumb shit, and it's in reality, is that really how it's going to play out? We don't know. I really don't think so, though. I really think like there's going to be these shared hangars and shared ships. Like nobody's going to do this stuff. This was all about the funding, and hey, thank you for the support and all that stuff, right? I certainly funded plenty as well. It's but I don't think your fleet is going to be a thing. It's going to be, I mean, maybe it is, and it's shared with other people, though, right? It's yours, but it's not just yours, and we'll see how all that stuff plays out. So yes, like your fleet might matter, but in reality, I feel just like you. The smaller stuff is where I'd rather be. I always just prefer to be in like a turret or support roles anyway. I don't need to be captaining a big ship and all that stuff.
That's why I'm like let the people who want to captain big ships captain, especially with some of the engineering changes and stuff Yogi was talking about, how larger ships will be more like naval combat. It's not going to be how anything is right now. It'll be a lot slower. Things will turn a lot slower. Okay.
Yeah.
That was it. I figured that would either be a quick question or a long question, but that's about it. I think we're all kind of similar page.
I have been hearing other people doing the exact same thing you have this year more than I have last year, of people just sort of starting to conflate, I guess would be the word. Their fleets and just turn them into all of the more like solo or at minimum like a few crew ships that they're much more likely to use throughout the game, and it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, stuff
I can use by myself in with like 3 to 5 like close friends. Like, all right, we're gonna go bounty hunting or whatever. But and also I think just the CinemaCon, we have an actual like not a full idea, but an idea of what this game will be like.
A little bit more.
Like all the mechanics are starting to slowly come online. Engineering and all the base building and economy that will eventually come. But yeah.
I'll believe it at this point. With the last few weeks of SCL, I'll believe any of this shit when I see it. But for now, I'm not. I'm not so sure about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely Q2 because obviously December and January, especially for CIG and large tech companies, vacation and like meetings for planning for next year, it's going to be slow. Q2 is when we'll see the cool stuff. Like honestly, I kind of agree with some of the previous topics. Abandon the Q4 patch, just have it like the winter patch. Don't push something out and break it until February or March.
Do you think they're going to? Do you think we're getting a 322 break?
I want structural salvage. So break
I understand.
Who cares?
At the least, like last year, it was like we're giving you PES on the 23rd of December.
Yeah, right? Please don't put it out on the 23rd of December. Right? And at least it's not. Let's change the whole database. Like it shouldn't be anything as bad as that. At least.
Yeah, I mean, and we will not talk about it any further than this. This is as far as I'm comfortable going as far as leaks go. The replication layer test happened.
Yes.
So there's still a possibility of, replication layer at the end of the year too. So let's not forget that's still a possibility. But yeah, we won't discuss any of that any further. That's as far as leaks go as with me that I'm comfortable talking about as an Evocati member is everybody knows it happened. You could say that you just don't share your experiences with it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to test it. I was with family all week. They did it on days nobody in the US is playing. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Leverage the tech preview channel. Leave it up there during like the next real patch. Don't break live. It's live is in pretty good state right now. Obviously minor. I mean, not minor. There are bugs. The normal Star Citizen bugs, not the really bad ones.
For an IAE, stability is way better than like ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of all the things you came in and discussed, I really wanted to hit on that. I crashed to desktop today. I was back in the ship. I didn't 30K. I 30K'd a couple times.
I haven't had a 30K
week.
For like a month.
Oh, I mean, I had 2 on Saturday last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's they're there, but it's it's still
rare.
I didn't have one all week because I didn't play.
She didn't play. Yeah.
Mind. Love
the best move is to not play.
Big brain moves, baby. Let's go. But yeah, they're more rare. I think we're coming off the instability of 318, and things are finally starting to feel like how we would have wanted it to feel at the beginning of the year this year. So it's good sign. But yeah, Testa, I don't know if there's anything else you want to chat about on this.
Do you want to talk about engineering SCL? I watched it all. I know Croncy hasn't, but if you want to,
I've got my cheat sheet here. Don't worry.
Okay,
we'll talk about it a little bit with you, and then give other people the opportunities to chat about it as well. So let's jump into it. It was the best SCL all year, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because we have, I now have a vibe of what engineering is going to be like. It's not going to be. I was always afraid they were going to get too close to Sea of Thieves, where every time your ship takes hit, someone needs to get out of a seat and put out a fire. That would be honestly insane, especially for the class ships of Cutlass size. It seems like definitely longer term combat engagements that will happen. So you have a bigger hammerhead, and you only got like 2 friends in it, only manning 2 guns. Sorry, it's going to catch on fire, and things will go offline. You're going to lose turrets. I'm super happy to see that. It's not going to be like every single hit, but it will over time, and excited for longer time to kill. But then also, if you precision target, like, okay, here's their shields will go offline until someone fixes it.
Did anybody really not think it was going to be like this, though?
I had a fear in my heart that it might be closer to that. We'll see how they tune it.
The development was, I think there was too little information on the development until maybe CitizenCon to think that it would be really anything specific.
No, I mean, like, did people really think it was going to be like overwhelmingly annoying?
Oh, 100% people thought that. I don't know. I don't think they were reasonable. But
that's what I'm referencing. Is
some
like
tier 0 implementations have been sometimes like a little over annoying. Then they tune it to be better.
Yeah, I guess
I can't really think of the top of my head, but
quickly, like any issues with food and drink were pretty quickly calmed down, and it's like you have some here and there, but it's almost never an issue. I think once in my entire existence playing this game, I had to stress out about food and drink, and it was during the Sulin. I was flying it around, and I just went to 0 thirst. And I was
having too much fun.
So I was healing myself but I still survived. I lasted like 20 minutes at 0 thirst. So is it really that big of a deal? I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody said, how tight is that dude's crotch with the gray jeans? What? Pay attention to anything else. There's so much else going on screen. We know where your head's at.
I don't know. What's going on screen?
I don't know. Yeah, I can hear him. Testa's clicking. I can hear him clicking onto it. But
sorry, I mean, picks up too much.
No, it's fine. It was comedy. But for the for the show, I thought that they were very they covered it all. Any question I would have had was pretty much covered around the system. Things aren't going to happen that often. Wear and tear is going to play into it. It sounds like they very much want to go to the more punishing repair and claim timers and claim prices and things like that. And yeah, they answered a lot of questions. So I don't know if there's anything else pop in your head, Testa. I have a lot, but again, I don't want to cover it all just with you. I want to give maybe our next caller the option as well.
I know they talked about relays, the little things you put on the wall to fix the power supply. 2 quick points that I hopefully see them adding is like a marker on your HUD to say, hey, this one's broken, go fix it. Because I don't know the layouts of every ship that I'm going to be on. And secondly, hopefully they're universal, but there are choices where like you can have your default normal like triangle graphic does everything equally. You can have one that has faster recharging, but like lower overall like energy storage. I don't know. Ideas like
ships,
that.
No, because they explain that big ships will not be able to do everything all at the same time. So like the example you give, no, but you'll eventually run out of battery or whatever. But I think what you're trying to say is that I want to have default loadouts that I just like click.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that should definitely be a thing. Is
and,
maybe even a keybind to click through them.
Yeah. And at least with the like you sort of mentioned there, like the layouts of the ships, right? They might not know all the layouts of the ships. 2 things for that. One is like the map is obviously going to be a big help there for just in general playing as
markers
well as, like,
on the map too, right?
Yep.
Yes, that's what I was saying. On that map marker, I should see like if I'm in the engineering console and I see this one's broken, I click and it goes to my player HUD when I get out of the seat.
Did you ever play Barotrauma? Any you guys? Highly suggest it. If you're a Star Citizen fan, it is incredible. It is multi-crew on steroids. It's amazing. And that's just one of the things. The engineer is able to mark, hey, this panel is on fire, go fix it. And everybody sees it, so same thing, but it just would be in our map, or even in our heads-up display.
Definitely.
That would be great as well. So we saw that there's, the line, whatever. So there's plenty of things that it could do, I think, and hope that it can. But yeah, man, it was just 2 dudes. It was pre-recorded, and they just sat down. They asked questions, no BS. They answered questions. It was great.
Yep.
It was great.
It was, yeah.
I can't express enough how much. Like, you don't even watch them, Croncy, because they're a waste of time.
It's so hard to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have to go watch this one. Yeah.
This one was.
They talked about gameplay.
Yeah.
And they just were like realistic. Like, Torsten comes in right away and is like, yeah, no, we don't repair soft death ships yet. We're going to, but we don't. So I was like, okay, that was good. I'm glad he like popped in right away and was on it there. And they have their go-no-go for structural salvage. So this roadmap roundup,
that was this past week, right? So
yeah. I don't know if roadmap roundup is on time. I think like it's preset, like it's always like a couple weeks behind their actual things. Like because they want to make sure. So I don't know if this roadmap roundup is going to let us know or the next one, but the next 2 are going to be very integral to what's happening in 3.22.
We'll know if it's committed or not pretty soon.
Yeah. But I guess Testa will let you go, and we'll continue on this subject for a little bit, and then we'll pop into some other things. So thanks for calling, man.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
bye now.
Just a quick thing on the whether or not it'll get committed or not based on the go no go. Also relevant to know that it was a pre-recorded segment too. So when did they pre-record that to say that it was going to be go no go by the end of this week, right?
Oh, it was this
like week. If they were 100% recorded this week.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what day, but it was weird.
Yeah.
Jared said at the end of this week, and then he said today was the go no go. So we'll have to see.
Okay.
But I assume it happened like the go no go was happening the day they recorded. So it's pre-recorded.
Sure.
It happened.
Sure.
So whether it was Friday or it was a different day, they're in. So these are 2 guys who work in Germany, but they're in the UK. And you have your notes. Do you know why?
Yes.
This is probably
no, that's
one of
not
the
in the
more
notes.
important info. That's not in the
That's
notes.
not in the
Okay,
notes.
I
No.
got you. They're in the UK because they are onboarding the Squadron 42 teams to two gameplay teams for them.
Hell
yes. So
yes.
they're kind of bringing people up to speed. So they're not only there for structural salvage, they wanted to be there in studio because a lot of the guys are working on that to make sure that they were getting it together so it passes its go, no go. But they were also there because teams are coming over, they're getting people, and they got to bring them on up to speed with what they're doing. So these game devs who work on game development, video game aspects, not ship sale stuff, are getting more people. So if there's one takeaway at all from this SCL is that there are people that are going to be working on said video game called Star Citizen and not Squadron 42 and not the Fleet Viewer. So let's go.
Has been good to be able to say that in the last couple of months, or in the last 2 months of saying like, more people on Star Citizen. Hooray.
It was great.
So, like, what do we think the assumption is? Do we think it's going to be that they're all onboarding for specifically this, or it's going to be, here are a couple of tasks that the PU team are working on, or the gameplay team are working on?
What do you mean by specifically
we're going to move
this?
it. Well, so, like, they're bringing in, like, specifically engineering. Or is it, do you think it's more, we're just going to onboard you to
everything,
all of the things that we need to do?
Yeah, because think about it. My best examples are with the mission team because I was about to say work with them directly so much because that's a bit of a meme, but like I do try to help them with their bugs as much as possible because their lunch break is when I'm streaming, so they tend to be like, "Hey, can you show me this?" And on their lunch break while they're eating or whatever, they'll see whatever issues with their stuff, and each person individually owns something. So Max owns prison. So rip Max, because prison's always broken. Lars owns the salvage missions and SPK. Elliot is kind of everything, right? But I imagine that they're bringing on some gameplay game designers or whatever, and other, because they have like coders and QA and all these things as well in their little teams. So they're bringing these guys in, and they're probably going to start assigning tasks to them. What those, because like I'll put them back on the screen. These two guys have done mining, tractor beam stuff, I think, salvage, resource management.
Working on engineering the whole time.
Like it's too much. So the more people, now you can have people that can own. Refueling. Somebody can maybe own refueling now and get it out of the dumpster,
and
right?
Get that ready for pyro.
Exactly. So that's sort of what I'm excited to see by this is that's what it's telling to me is that we got some people in the studio that you know they're less overwhelmed, I guess would be the word. So
it makes a lot more it makes a lot of sense to me that they would bring over the gameplay design people first, at least publicly, because presumably they would be the first ones to sort of finish during polishing, right? It's going to be the level designers that are going to still be there at the moment. Obviously, all the bug fixing, all that sort of stuff.
UI.
So because they know what the game is now. That's fantastic. The idea of them working on base building next year, because of that, has become a little bit more realistic to me, I think.
And I think we need to like calm ourselves a little bit with that. Is that it's starting? It's gonna be
I'm not
small.
saying finished or anything, but it's more. It provides more weight to it for me, at least.
That was an easy like. We're going to say something that's going to make us look really awesome, but it doesn't mean what we're saying as much. You're not going to get what we're showing you. That's for sure. So,
true.
But I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. Mega excited for that, obviously. But just try to keep myself calm. Also, did you see this guy's shirt?
The rough and ready shirt.
Yeah, dude. But it's the rest and relax.
Yeah, the rough
and ready over. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't get me wrong. I think that was available at CitizenCon.
Oh, for real? Okay, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
I think so. Someone will correct me, because the whole like, while it was the pyro setup, it was specifically supposed to be Checkmate Station, and so there was rough and ready stuff everywhere, and there was a rough and ready CitizenCon shirt, but I don't know if it was that one.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, I thought it was a great SCL. We've had a lot of goofy ones. But like, I mean, I guess it wasn't all great because it was after they just had the composer from Squadron. Like, that's cool. Those are great to like get to know those guys. But in terms of just nailing down on a subject that people were like worried about, I think they, for me, maybe not others, it calmed any issue that I might have had. They came in and were like, "Hey, we're not stupid," and that was it. You know, and we got this. Trust us, and we'll do it. And when it comes to these things, I trust these guys for sure, because they certainly resolved a lot of issues around mining for me. So I'm happy.
Good. I'm happy, Mike. I'm happy for you.
Are you happy? I'm happy.
Not really. We're gonna get less views on the video.
No. Okay. Here's the thing. I'll say it over and over and over again. When I'm happy and I make a happy thumbnail, 10,000 more views. Easily. Sometimes more.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair
it
enough.
makes no... Everybody thinks it's the other way around. Classic. Those people are stupid. And that's why they're complaining about the amount of views that I have versus the amount of views that they have, because they're too worried about what other people are doing instead of themselves. So the
while I know that's not directed at me, that really felt like it was, Mike.
No, it's not directed at you at all. Not even close.
Not publicly, at least.
No. The people who it's directed to probably know who they are at this point. But the leaving that aside, F8C, there was some stupid drama around it, I thought.
Yes. So for a period of maybe 4 hours, it was a very short amount of time, which is crazy.
It's a great way to start this out. It was a 4 hour. It was a little 4 hour drama. No big.
Just a little 4 hour drama. The world blew up for 4 hours. They were selling the F8C again. However, you could only buy it. I was a little surprised, but not. Okay. I was kind of like, okay, sure. But you could only buy it if you had already previously gotten a golden ticket.
And not already had it.
And not already used it. Yeah.
Because I can't buy it. And I never I got a golden ticket. I never purchased one, but this is my like my buy screen. It won't let me get anything. And what I showed before was somebody else's that hasn't gotten it yet. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like for example, I had the ability to buy it. I didn't buy it, but like I had the ability to buy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it went up for sale. It was a little weird because they had already said like the sale ended like a week ago. Yeah. So it was just kind of strange to like, well, if you're going to extend it, just extend it that whole time, whatever. It's once again, it's the whole FOMO thing. Yeah. But that's not what people were complaining about, which like my thing is always just the F8C should have never been sold in any capacity. The thing that people were complaining about was the insurance.
Yes.
Which is just the dumbest thing to complain about in Star Citizen.
Time. It is so
and people were so mad. They were so mad. It was like, well, this like shafts us. Oh my god.
I got 60 months. They got 120 months. This is unfair.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, we need Ben back. Were you around for Ben where he would just be like, guys, insurance doesn't matter? He's the guy who was the original like ship designer for like all the ships.
Okay.
Like, he had the ideas for all of them. He's a huge Wing Commander fan. Like, he was one of the original people in like the 4 people in the basement for SC. And he would always come on podcasts and things and be like, guys, insurance is like your hangar fees when you played Privateer, which was like $5. It was nothing. And they realized, and he still did it, but they realized that people were crazy about FOMO, and that was the beginning of the end of my excitement for Star Citizen. They said, LTI ends, we're never selling it again. Thank you for your early pledges. 6 months later, LTI, bam, 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 bam. And That's how we got to the F8C. That's how we got to all these things. That was the beginning of this. But turns out.
So anyway, so it was 4 hours because Xylo posts on Spectrum, and it was so quick that I don't think it's a response to like, oh no, we messed up. I think it's literally as in like we need to change what we were going to do. I think it's genuine. And Xylo posted and said, that wasn't on purpose, guys. Our bad. Just put in a ticket. You'll get your 120 month.
Yeah. Who cares?
So,
if you want it that bad, just ask. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Not much drama, but it was a very entertaining couple of hours on Twitter.
Yes. It was hilarious. Because I'm just sitting here going, who cares? But people care. So it is what it is. I'm not going to knock them for it, I guess. But, no, I am. Because deserved. But yeah, that was goofy. Outside that, I think that's probably all that happened this week for me. So we do have another caller at least, so I want to bring them in, and then I guess we can kind of like wrap up our weekend, what we did, and all that stuff. Unless there's something else you got.
Well, just to remember after the caller.
Sure.
There's also the video finally came out. The Star Engine. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll touch on that after Hudson. So let's bring in Hudson Hawk. Hudson, welcome, man.
How you doing, Hudson? You there, Hudson?
Hello, Hudson.
What's up?
There he is.
How you doing?
I was just muting you.
Yeah.
On stream.
I'm gonna do longer intros into people, so if they're listening, they know. I'm gonna judge it like 5 to 10 second intros to people so they can hear us.
Yeah, the lag delay was kind of it's like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Yep.
No, you're good. Excuse me.
So you wanted to touch on the Arastra, but feel free. We already talked about it, but that doesn't mean that we can't come back around to it. So, what do you want to chat about?
The Arastra is kind of a little bit want to talk about. It's more of mining and refining in general.
Let's go for it.
Croncy, you were talking about how what they're refining on the Arastra, what's going to do to the dedicated. Well, you and Mike, you were talking about how what the Arastra is going to do to like the dedicated refining facilities.
Sure.
And
just how it compares,
what I'm wondering,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is, since I'm still relatively new to Star Citizen, is like, is the refinery, are they the time to process? Is that like that's the time it actually takes to process the ore, or is that because maybe there's like a queue and you're at like the bottom of the list or whatever?
So the way that it's calculated at the moment for the in-game refineries is a couple of things. So the type of ore. Usually the more expensive ones take longer.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of people that are using, the amount of SEU, the amount of people that are using that location. However, that seems to cap out, and it caps out almost immediately at increasing times.
That's like almost like ignore that for now.
Pretty much, yeah.
It like doesn't work, but it should.
Yeah. And then, which process you're using. So there is the idea of like a bit of a queue in there, making it longer, but it's not really a thing. So that's how the current ones work. What they've sort of talked about with ship refining, and keep in mind this was like when the Expanse came out, and they like haven't worked on refining in that time really.
My memory. What were they selling us on the Expanse with?
They were essentially saying, like, you will actively be doing things similar to how, we're going to be actively doing things with engineering and all those sort of other things. So there will be a skill element to it. Yep.
Yeah, there was like.
And they said that you may, you may have to put in modules. You may have to put in materials for specific processes. You may have to do whatever because it's essentially still completely in concept what ship refining is going to be.
Yeah.
But the assumption was that it was going to be more profitable than like dump it in your refinery, like your whatever they call like Crew 4 sort of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that would kind of answer the question what the ships like the Arastra and the Expanse would do as far as dedicated refineries versus player owned refineries.
You also have to assume time is going to be incredibly different, because it would be insane to ask somebody to manually refine for 24 hours, right? I have a 72-hour refinery job, or 96-hour refinery job the other day. Like, those can't be a thing. It's like 1 hour would have to be the max, I would assume, right? It would be crazy to have anything higher than that, especially in the state of the game where you might be experiencing. We're not experiencing them that bad right now, but in the future you might be. So,
right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the difference is, but I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the specifics, right? Especially because they talk about the refinery and the Arastra very differently to how they talked about the one on the Expanse.
Exactly.
So it's like, what are the difference between those two? Like, is it going to make that useless sort of thing? Which it won't, but we don't know how it's going to work, so.
To people who are more familiar with the game, that's the real question, is like, you sold a dedicated refining ship. This is not. Explain, how are they different?
Yeah.
Why
do I want one over the
have
other?
to be? Yeah, like I hate that question personally, because I don't want, like I talked about that earlier, I want there to be choice, but in the end, it's significantly more expensive, and there's. You want progression throughout the process, and that's kind of what they showed on their ISC, is start from hand mining and move up to the Orion, and the Arastra's in that chain,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Was there anything else?
Croncy, you were talking about the size 3 mining laser. You and Mike again, talking about size 3 mining lasers and them not being able to crack smaller rocks.
Yes. So right now, size 2 mining lasers, because there's a minimum power level on all lasers now, and size 2 mining lasers are inherently more powerful. They are much worse at cracking small rocks. Like, it's much harder.
Right. Yeah, because it overpowers them and causes them to explode.
Exactly. So presumably that would be the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, what if, like, and this might be a dumb idea, this might be a good idea, who knows? But what if, like, the larger the mining laser, the larger the rock it can extract?
Okay, so that's not how it works currently, but there are these modules that do things for the extraction laser. So like, what?
Well, I just mean like, you have like a really, say like, I don't know what the biggest rock that a mole can crack, right? You have to crack it like 2 times before you can start to extract it. Whereas with, say, something like the Arastra, the mole equivalent, you'd have to crack it 5 times in order to be able to extract it. With the Arastra, for whatever huge chunk of rock, it only needs to crack like a mole rock like once in order to start extracting it.
That's sort of what I'm referencing. Go ahead, Croncy.
Okay.
That's a thing that I really wanted them to do, and thought they were going to do when they did the mining rebalance this year, is make extraction power relevant to the size of the rock that you're trying to extract, and like make larger rocks extractable with a higher extraction power.
Exactly.
I would still love it if they did that. That would be fantastic. Gives once again a bit more variety to what sort of modules and stuff you're putting onto your lasers, and that could be a thing with size 3s or whatever.
Do you use extraction laser power modules?
No,
nobody does.
I would if it said I don't have to break a rock another time, right?
Exactly, right? Like, I'll give the example of how we were doing our mining operation. Again, I definitely talked about it last week, but I'll be very, very quick on it. We have 2 dedicated moles that are owned by the org that they don't mine, they just move the cargo. If those could be extraction vehicles, that you have those modules, you have the lasers that have the best extraction power or whatever, and then it's 1 break for everybody instead of a few. And maybe that's something where the Arastra, that my size 3 laser question, like you're referencing, maybe that's where things change, but that takes away the negative of a more powerful laser. So if we're not taking away that negative, we're hitting these power creeps without, any negatives. And I think what's been the best about mining is you make a choice where I want to reduce the resistance, but I'm raising the instability. I want to reduce the instability, but I'm raising the resistance, and so on and so forth. And you're making these choices, and you're giving and taking, and I think that's what's been so great about it. And I don't want that to be taken away. I really don't, and that's why when they showed size 3 lasers and they sold us on all this marketing BS, I was like, that's just an in-lore thing. That's a joke. That's not real. Tell me what's real in the Q&A, and make your money, but tell me what the game is, and that's where I'm at.
Oh, what if like a larger mining laser can extract a larger rock, but the downside would be that it's less efficient at extracting the larger rock as opposed to like a smaller rock.
I don't think that's enough of a downside. I do a lot of mining, and the downside of having a big laser and you cannot break a small rock and you need help is the best feeling, that you are helping break the big rock, but somebody else is breaking the small rock, or choosing a laser that's going to make it harder to break a big rock because you're going to need to be able to do the small ones, creates meaningful choices. And I don't think your choice is meaningful enough, in my opinion. Is that fair?
Yeah, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's meaningful, but the current situation is much better. So why go away from that? That's just what I'm feeling about it. But I also want to touch back on, because somebody in chat so kindly posted the Expanse
Q&A or whatever.
Yeah, the Expanse, or not the Galaxy Q&A.
Yep.
When they asked, like, yo, there's a refinery in here, what's the deal? I bought the Expanse. And they said the Galaxy refinery module has both storage for raw and refined materials outside of just the saddlebag storage like the Expanse, as well as 2 reactors that are much larger than the Expanses. So by the Galaxy, of course. So while it can run fewer simultaneous jobs, it can process much larger quantities per job and store them after. Sounds like the Arastra is going to be leveling that aspect up. 512 SCU of cargo, huge refinery jobs. But
also, I still feel like it's whereas the Galaxy, just once again, we get into like the whole thing. Well, still making all these ships relevant. The Galaxy will be refining other ships' jobs. I don't think the Arastra will. And the Arastra is just going to be refining its own jobs for the most part, because it's going to be too difficult to move stuff around.
I hope that's the difference, and it certainly feels that way.
Yep.
I didn't see anything else related to refineries, so I think that's the one. Because they didn't talk about the station refineries, which is what the Arastra was really hammering. Like, you don't have to deal with third parties. Those evil refineries. So, yeah.
I hate playing with people. That's why I bought the Arastra.
And thank you, Artesius, in chat, by the way, for the Q&A. Appreciate it. He just posted it in chat again for you guys. But yeah. Hudson, anything else you want to chat about?
I'm good, man.
Okay.
I hate people, but I'm buying this multi-cruise ship.
Yeah.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Yeah. Actually, in game, I love people. I love playing with others. So I really felt compelled to get this. I think that the one thing that we really didn't talk too much about is I think they took all the problems with the mole and improved it. Any problem I have with the mole, they improved on it. You touched on it, Croncy, the remote turrets. That's way better than having to walk down to down a ladder and all this other stuff. I don't like that as much. But yeah. So I don't like people either in real life, but in video games it's quite fun. So all right, Hudson, we'll let you go, dude.
Yeah, cheers, Hudson.
Cheers, man.
See you later.
Catch you later.
Have a good one.
So I think that will be our last caller for the day. We do want to touch on one more thing, right? Which was they finally posted it. I was wondering when it was going to happen. They posted the, what would it be called? The Future of Star Engine trailer. Yeah. So this was, and it got a lot of views. So we've already all seen it, but it's already at 500K views in 3 days. Their videos don't typically do this well.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So
even though like patch videos and stuff, nothing ever really gets this high.
Yeah, it was almost smart to wait this long, because because like everybody who saw it at CitizenCon saw it. We get to watch it again. It's a little different. Very minor differences. There's a YouTuber. His name is Jael, Jale.
LE.
Yeah, who posted the side by side. It was really, really good. So I highly suggest you guys check that out. It was awesome to see the slight differences, like so subtle, like the cloth physics aren't as abrupt and crazy, like just very, very simple things. Major differences. They posted like relative velocity and distance covered. Some of the relative velocity I don't believe. It seems a little goofy because they were moving super slow. Whales don't move 700 meters per second.
I need you to skip to that and show me that it says 700 meters per second when they're with the whales.
We're going 12,000 meters per second. We're slowing down to 704.
So it's going a kilometer a second, which the MSR can definitely do.
Not in Orson's atmosphere, bro.
Well, it's okay.
It's not all real. But these are like, I was just kidding. Like, it's not. This is so minuscule and minor and nitpicky and stupid. Like, I don't actually care. But it was just one thing. Like, that whale is not moving 700 meters per second.
Maybe it is, Mike. Maybe when the whales come out, they're just zooming past everyone.
Maybe
the new racing vehicle, hop on top of a whale.
There you go.
I want to mention
different.
Yeah, for the most part, everything in the video that got changed, like most of the things that got changed, were the correct quality for what they actually showed at CitizenCon.
Yes.
So, for example, the water was a big one. Difference between the two videos. So I think it's around Pyro 3, yeah. And like the light rays, also a really big one. During the talks, so you're at about the right spot. So it's a little bit later, yeah.
There we go.
After the reclaimer, yep. So the actual talks that they did, the actual demonstrations that like Will and stuff did, saying, "Hey, here's what water and stuff does," looked way better than the Star Engine demo did. Presumably because they had to do the Star Engine stuff months beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, it was very polished, right? Like this wasn't a PowerPoint with a dev video. So yeah. So presumably that's a lot of the stuff you'll notice is that Maelstrom is like another example they show. It's a little bit better quality. The like Gladius crashing into the water and it actually affects the water in this video. So all that stuff made sense. Yeah, it actually floated. It bounced, it created waves, and then it stayed there and it floated and stuff. Pretty cool.
One thing that was kind of interesting to me, the only thing that got like properly removed, because they added a lot of stuff in, was bleeding. They removed bleeding, which is interesting to me.
Just
it was buggy in the first video, but like I would have assumed, like there's like a texture bug on a bit of the blood.
For ratings reasons, I don't know, because the bleeding will be in the game, so it's not really about ratings. Oh, I keep forgetting to remove the collar up top, but that's all. I think it's not that big of a deal. I really don't think it's that. It's a YouTube video. Do you think the bleeding in the YouTube video?
I don't think CIG care about the ad revenue in YouTube.
Well, they don't have any.
You know what I mean? Yeah. As far as I'm aware, I've never had an ad when I've watched Star Citizen YouTube. So
neither have I. They might get your YouTube Premium if you have any.
Maybe.
There's the floating Gladius, which is
that looks fantastic.
Very good. Yeah, good simulation. Improved on the Maelstrom thing as well. So yeah.
Some other stuff too, like inside the Reclaimer, they use the fire extinguisher now instead of the people running around in the fire, which is a bit disappointing. That was funny.
There still is a guy just standing in the fire though. They had I think they had to leave in the meme of the one guy. The best was the guy who just walked into it at the end at CitizenCon. That was one of my favorite parts of CitizenCon. Also, relative velocity 0 meters per second. I don't believe you because we're moving.
It's like half a meter a second. Round down, Mike. Come on.
No, I'm kidding. But this is still very ridiculous. They're in the middle of a giant fire with the fire extinguisher with no suit on, nothing.
It's because Reclaimer pilots never quit, Mike.
Yeah.
It's law accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the most part, it was just, hey, let's just make it look better. And they did. And it looks a lot better. It looks a lot cleaner. They even they fixed the colors as well. Like it just
Yeah.
looks a bit more professional.
Yep.
Like they've just had a little bit more time with it, which is exactly what happened. I don't know if I agree with your statement before, though, of saying like it might have been smart to release this late, just because so much of the hype post CitizenCon was everyone reacting to this, right? Like massive creators reacting to this. So,
It's
yeah, I don't know.
reaching
It felt a little
somebody,
weird.
though.
Oh, for sure. It's obviously getting
reaching-
views.
I mean, I
just
think
wonder, would it have been over a million at this stage if it was, you know?
possibly.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think just in general, this is interesting. I got a lot of
Mhm.
shit for my thumbnail on this. It was very simple. My react to this was just around people were calling it fake in my chat, and it
Yeah.
it's
it's a little fake.
is.
It's staged. It's
Yeah.
staged. It's not fake really.
Yeah,
like
but it's
yeah.
not, right? Like and
Yeah.
obviously it's also some future stuff that we don't like the jump point we don't have in game. Does that mean it's fake?
Yeah.
No, right? It's in game dev somewhere, so it's not real. It's not real is what I was trying to say. But I just wrote fake ? Because that was like the discussion of the video. Like it was the opposite of clickbait, and I got ripped for that, of course. So I just had to tell somebody, if you don't like the videos, just please hit the not interested button. That's it. It's that simple. It's no big deal.
I think I saw you respond to someone like that on Twitter.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I just had to be
like
like,
the
if
image.
you don't like it, because it was literally him complaining like his videos keep coming up for me.
Yeah.
Simple solution, bro.
Same.
Very
I already
simple.
clicked not interested.
Exactly.
I haven't seen a video of Mike's for years.
There you go. Like again, I do post a lot, so it can get annoying. I understand. Just do it. It's no big deal. It's okay. And yeah, so we already saw
But
this.
don't do it to my videos though.
No, watch
No
all
one
of
do it to
Croncy's
mine.
videos. They're very
Yeah.
good. Sometimes he has bad takes. Sometimes he has good takes,
Ooh.
just like the rest of us.
All the time I have bad takes.
Yeah, true.
But yeah,
That's
it
why we
was
brought you
it
here.
was good.
So you can
Yeah.
make me look good, right?
But yeah, so it was good. Yeah, it was good to watch the comparison video.
Yeah.
From jail. I watched the same thing. It was really good to see the difference, and I think they did a great job. So yeah, I don't think there's much more about that.
No.
I do want to mention one last thing, which is a small thing.
Please.
So funding this year, just because I find it very interesting, CIG funding throughout the year.
It is.
So it got like equal just before November, like within a couple mil.
We talked about it last week. How are we doing now?
Yeah. So someone from my chat has actually posted to me this little graph.
You want to post it in chat so I can bring it up, if you don't mind?
Yeah, let me open this one up. So it's essentially just it's this one has a lot of the RSI day stuff in it specifically. But the reason for that is because RSI day was the biggest day last year as well.
What was last? Oh, Perseus?
The Galaxy.
Galaxy. Duh.
Last year was the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, you're not in my Discord. I can't save this for some reason.
I'm not in your Discord.
Anyway, no, you're not in my Discord.
Oh,
Well.
I'll join it. We all join each other's Discords and then mute them anyway. So that's why I just don't join people's Discords. But yeah, I don't know. Somehow try to get it in Twitch chat because I can't open Discord because then it'll go over your face.
Yeah, I'll try to get it. If someone from my chat can also try it. I don't know why I'm struggling with this so much. But yeah, it's essentially just like, here are the numbers for where they were at with the RSI day and where we are right now, 29.53 so far.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. One sec. I was able to save it. I'll send it to you.
Yay.
And it's pretty interesting because, like, yeah, we were pretty much dead on, or just just a little bit less than dead on. And now we're at this. So, yeah. So, we're 5 million behind last year's earnings at the moment. But RSI day was pretty much exactly the same in terms of sales. Obviously, there's a little bit left, but pretty much exactly the same.
Oh, I don't know if I have it.
I just sent it to you in Discord.
Oh, put it in Twitch chat if you can, because I can't open Discord on stream because it goes over your face.
Use the one that Igneal just posted.
Okay.
Because it's the same information.
Cool. Yeah, that's where I'm at,
Um,
but it's not
yeah.
up to RSI. It's out of date. That's all.
Ah, damn it. Well, now I look like a fool.
Yeah,
Ah!
because they
Can I
obviously
not
made a
share?
ton between now and then. He updates it when the
Yes.
entire day is done. Okay, so it'll be updated
Sorry, in
later
2
today.
minutes or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, here we go.
CCU game has stats. Okay. Oh, our teacher's posting
There
a
you go.
Discord link. There we go.
Yeah, I
This is
think it should be the
probably
same
better.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Igneal kept track because it's Igneal's thing. So yeah, Igneal's been messaging us the entire time, like every 20 seconds, how much RSI I've made. So yeah, the one that I posted is the one that's about RSI specifically. But the point is, we are right now about 5 million behind last year in terms of 2952 earnings. So it is very likely that we're going to probably equal last year, but it's going to be very close whether or not it's another record year, is essentially where we're at. And that's really interesting because that would be the first year. If we aren't able to, it'll depend on 322. If we aren't able to get higher, that'll be the first year of non-record years in what, 6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty big deal.
There was only ever one down year. It was 2017.
Yeah. So that'd be absolutely massive if that happens. So it's going to depend on 322. If the Santok Yai and the X1, like the 3 X1s, as well as whatever else is out there, comes out before the end of December, because remember, guys, it doesn't have to be 322, has to be out next month, really. Then we can probably, then CRG can probably make it. Otherwise, I don't know if they will.
And I don't know if those ships are going to do it.
Yeah,
those
no,
aren't
exactly.
interesting. You got a fighter and a motorcycle. Like the interesting ones just happened. You know, it was the biggest conversation about today's show was the interesting one, I think. I'm just getting links on links on links. Okay, this is like the nicer RSI. So they did better than RSI last year by 1%.
But only a little bit.
2%.
Yeah. Which sort of makes sense. You know, the Galaxy came out last year. It was a pretty hype ship at the time, as well as it was only the second year that I always forget which one's the Perseus and which one's the Polaris, but one of the ones, it was only the second year it was available for sale. So yeah. I don't think they're catching up this year, but they've done a lot to catch up. This could have been a pretty crazy year, bad for them in terms of funding, but since CitizenCon, you know.
F8 as well. That was before CitizenCon, right? That was a big funding drive, and then
that was only a couple mil. That was only like 2 mil.
Still,
but yes, it matters. Yeah,
yeah. It covered a little gap of you know, they just didn't do as well as they wanted, and it's still they're down 25%, and they got to be up significantly on expenses. So there's always that to mention, and that is a little. There's always. I don't want to say the word concerning because there's nothing to be concerned about.
No, I rather think it's just interesting more than anything. Just seeing how the company is doing, right? Like, because the more sales they make, you can assume the better the game is doing in like the public eyes and more people that are joining and blah blah blah. So the expansion of the last couple of years may not be happening as much anymore.
Yeah. And that's okay. I think we're going to see them make a lot more money when they don't even really need to tell us the funding numbers as much anymore, when it's like the game is selling itself and not as much the ships. And that's what, again, CitizenCon was all about for me. And it was like, wow, it was you sold me on CitizenCon by selling me video game. Wow, this is amazing. I am so surprised that the ship panel was the worst. Also, the one question I have before we head out was the Arastra on the ship panel in the silhouette section.
No.
Did you go and look? Yeah, I asked that, but I wasn't sure if we. So, assume this thing ain't coming anytime soon, then, right?
Yep.
Next year or so, it's out. So don't get too excited. don't get too upset about whatever it may end up being, because there's going to be plenty of time for them to change their mind. As this thing comes, they're gonna. I think they have a big platform to go. This is where mining has gone since the concept, and this is how we're going to address those changes in this ship. And they're going to have plenty of opportunities to do that, right? So I think that's probably where we leave it off, Croncy.
Sorry to leave it with me trying to give you a link for.
It's all good. It's all good. The internet, using the internet is difficult for some of us, but
I'm becoming too old.
Yeah, I mean, we could see how I'm managing the scenes. It's a disaster. It's not easy. But the thing I kind of want to leave it on before we go is, you talked about your Asian subvest. Is that what you call it?
ANZ, Australia, New Zealand.
Ah, okay. I always thought that was short for Asian.
Sorry, ANZ.
Ah, okay. No, I know what Z
Australia,
is.
New Zealand.
I know what Z is, because I follow hockey, so Canada. And
you got all the Canadians and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So how did it go? And tell me how it went, and then I'll do I had Thanksgiving, so I'll share my little personal stuff at the end too.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. I broke my all-time most subs record by over 200 subs.
Let's
insane.
Go. Nice.
Yeah. So huge Star Citizen community, absolutely popping off. Thank you very much, everyone. I have to do a Shui stream now.
So explain we got Shui to that stream for those who don't know. I definitely know.
So I've shown you these shoes before, Mike. I think I showed it before I was a permanent host. So I have these Twitch shoes that I got from a previous ANZ Subfest. So I'm going to wear these for a day.
Oh.
What?
You're going to ruin them, though.
Oh, they don't even fit me.
Oh, okay, cool. So fuck it.
Yeah.
What size are they?
Exactly. These are, I think they're I think it's US 12 or something. I'm a 13.
They don't fit
me.
It just does
not fit.
They don't fit me either. So ruin them.
Just ask for them. So I'm gonna wear these for a day. A shui is a very common Australian cultural pastime, where you pour normally a beer into a shoe and then drink it. I won't be allowed to drink beer because of some Twitch TOS stuff, but I'm going to be playing Star Citizen, and every time I die, I have to do a shui. So that's going to be good fun.
Nice.
But we got to that within 30 seconds of Subfest ending today.
Yes.
Everyone sick. It was nuts.
That's sick. I'm glad too, because I was telling my family, I was like, guys, I've been leaving stream early every day this week, but there is no chance I'm going to be able to leave early this week, because I'm not asking Croncy to come on the podcast early before the Subfest ends. So I'm happy that everything kind of worked out. No, I wasn't even going to ask. Yeah. So when you showed up today, I was like, do you think you can come on a little bit earlier for me if you don't mind? Because we had already finished it. It was good, perfect. So I'm glad the timing worked out. Yep. For us, it was American Thanksgiving, and my parents flew in on Monday, so we had the podcast last Sunday. They flew in on Monday. I got weekend review done as quickly as I could and as scuffed as I can get it done, and then just threw it up there. And I spent the whole week with them. We went around, and I have family up north, and then we came back. Yep. So I had 2 Thanksgivings. We had American Thanksgiving on Thursday, and we had Cuban Thanksgiving on Friday. And Cuban Thanksgiving is like a pig that's cooked underground for 24 hours and all the best sides. So it was so we had the great sides from American Thanksgiving and turkey. And then we had the pork on Friday, which was really great. And so we've just been eating leftovers, and then we went to Top Golf and played golf yesterday, and they have Angry Birds golf.
Oh, sure, yep.
Which is super
Angry
cool.
Birds golf.
Yes, you have. So it's like how on Golf Channel or whatever they hit the ball and you can see the line and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They could do that there. So you have a VR kind of Angry Birds map. And they use these things on the ground on the actual real life place, and then you have to aim and try to kill the pigs, like the Angry Birds game. It was so fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I had a great time, but I haven't streamed. I haven't done anything on YouTube. So if you've been seeing a ton of React videos, I've just been popping on stream for like an hour, watching some stuff. That's why I haven't played or done anything all week, because I've been with family. So while they're sleeping in the morning, I come on and chat with you guys a little bit, and then I head out for the rest of the day and spend time with them. So my brother's here until Tuesday. He popped in on stream for a second, but I don't think you can see him on camera. And so just had fun times with them. But
fantastic.
That's the show. So thank you for watching, everybody. And I don't know, do you have anything coming up this week? For me, I just want to play the game. There's a lot of, I just want to mine right now. I'm just really interested in it at the moment.
Yeah, no, nothing really after Subfest. I do want to say though, because we're going to start transitioning to the new channel.
We should start saying it. Yeah.
We're going to be starting to transition to a new channel. I'm sure Mike will have the link like down here or something. So start subbing to it and getting ready for content if you like Answer the Call, because we're going to be doing content over there.
Yeah, so like I think we're not going to make a Twitch channel dedicated.
No,
that would be too difficult, but there will be a dedicated YouTube channel. We will simulcast the podcast on YouTube while we're here on that channel. That's the plan going forward, because it's awesome and easier. And so the podcast will no longer be on SaltEMike's channel. This is our podcast now. It's not mine. The moment Croncy came on, that was always the intention. And that's how we're going to go about it. So I'll leave the link and you guys can get subscribed. And then, so there's nothing up there yet, but I'm going to
we'll start putting some shorts and stuff up there.
And download all the old ones too and post them there as well. So we'll fill it.
And then soon, it'll be the place for Answer the Call. So
so whenever
be one of the first.
Whenever the first podcast of the new year is, that's when we'll be there officially for new stuff. But so thank you so much for watching, guys. I will link that down below, and then we'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully,
sounds good
with something to talk about.
Q&A
for our
maybe
roster
a roadmap
and a roadmap. Yeah, maybe we'll know if Structural Salvage made it. But I think the news is gonna start slowing down a little bit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we can maybe we're gonna start getting some guests on. We'll start thinking about that stuff, because I think things are gonna start tailing off for the end of the year. Devs are gonna be going on vacation, and we won't have anything until about mid-January. Is probably where we're gonna be feeling it. But thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. And I
did forget. I do have one thing that's happening this week, which is in 2 hours. I'm going to be on Tomatoes podcast with Red Monster.
Oh, let's go.
Check that out as well.
Nice. Mining?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we're going to be talking all of Rastra. So
hell yeah. So guys, don't forget to answer
the call. See, if we pay someone to make an outro, it won't be as cringe.
No, it has to be cringe.